Alright guys, today we're cooking some Lingcod. We caught this during the summer in Alaska. So let's get started. We're going to pan sear it, put a little olive oil on it, make sure we rub it in. We're going to do the same to the other side, so let's just flip it over. A little bit here. Rub that thing in. Next you're going to grab your salt and pepper. And you just want to get some of this on, and we're going to flip after we get both sides. There we go. And we want to make sure we're leaving a little bit of seasoning on the cutting board so we can roll the edges of the fish in the seasoning, because we want to season every side. My next fish cooking video, I will do a different recipe than pan searing. I'm still trying to think of what I want to do, get the stuff for it, but we'll figure it out. So here's the Lingcod. You saw how I patted it down on each side, and if there's not enough seasoning on the board, you can just get some on it and then pat it down. So let's get ready with the pan. All right guys, so we're gonna put this on high, and we're gonna let this sit for about 4 minutes, and then we will slap that fish on. All right guys, it's been about 4 minutes, and this is what my flame was looking like right now. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. We still want it pretty high. Like I barely turned it on. So we'll put that back on. Make sure your pan's on the center of the flame. And now we're just gonna lay down our fish. We want a dry pan. We don't want to add any olive oil or butter, nothing like that. The only olive oil that should be in the pan was what's on your fish. So we'll let this cook for about 2 minutes, 2.5, and then we'll check it out. It was about 1.5 inches thick, 1 inch thick. So that should give you some direction on how long you should cook yours. So let's check back in a couple minutes. All right guys, it's been about 2 minutes, I'd say. Let's check it out. This is what it looks like right now. That's looking good, so we're gonna flip it. So like I said, that was about 2.5 minutes on that heat. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side, and we know it's cooking when it starts to flake apart, just like this. So as you can see, if I put any more pressure on that, it's gonna start flaking, and we want it to be whole. Obviously, like, it'll taste the same if it falls apart, but it's for the presentation. You want it to look nice. So let's keep going. All right guys, it's been about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. So we're gonna pop this off, and I have a separate paper plate on the side to slap that fish on. Now we're gonna turn our heat off, and any chunks of fish that stayed in the pan like this and these little pieces, we're gonna wanna scrape this out after we let it cool. So we're gonna let that cool for about 3 minutes, because for the next step, we're gonna add our butter, our olive oil, our garlic, and we're gonna make that lemon butter sauce to put on the fish. And we don't want any of this burnt stuff in here. That'll make it taste more bitter. So wait for the pan to cool down for about 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and then we'll get back over here. I got all that extra, like, loose, burnt chunks out, threw them away. Now we're gonna grab some butter. I'm just cutting it right now, about 4 tablespoons, maybe 3 tablespoons of butter, about how much. And we're gonna turn our heat to low, so we don't even want it that high. That's probably good. Yeah, so turn it that low, add your butter in. Our pan still might be a little too hot, but it should start foaming up like this. And then once it starts to foam, we're gonna grab our olive oil, and we're just gonna add some olive oil into this. It's coming out real slow. All right, that's good. Then we're gonna let this butter melt down a little bit, get it ready. And one ingredient I did not put next to the cutting board, I don't know why I didn't have it right there, but we need some white wine for this. So grab your white wine, and then we're good to go. So here's the butter. It's all melted down nicely. You're gonna grab some chopped garlic or minced garlic. It doesn't matter. Like I was using minced garlic just the other day, but I ran out, so I'm using the chopped. It'll work the same. Grab a little, not even a spoonful. Plop that in there. Then you want to grab a whisk or something you can stir with. Mix it around. It might pop at you a little bit, like that. So we're going to let that brown for a bit. We want to make sure we're keeping it at least a little bit stirred so it doesn't stick to the bottom and burn. But once it gets, we're going to let it get a little bit more, but once it gets this brown color, that's when we're going to add our white wine. So it should be looking pretty similar to this. And if your guys' pan was too hot, it would be a lot darker and there wouldn't be as much foam from the butter. So let me grab that wine. All right, so we got the wine right here. We let that brown. I'm just gonna add a little bit in. And you guys can, I don't have like a set amount I add in. I just kind of pour it. We're gonna stir this in a bit. Make sure that garlic doesn't stick to the bottom. Get it around. Then I like to add, after this cooks for a little bit longer, I like to add not even like a half teaspoon of butter back in. Obviously you don't have to add a lot more butter because it's all in there and you can see it, but I like to add a little bit more foam. Make sure we're stirring this, keeping it moving. Letting that wine cook out. I'm gonna add that about half tablespoon of butter back in I was just talking about. Make sure we're stirring regularly. And also you guys can add some parsley to this, just chopped real finely. In my other videos I show you like what kind of, just how small you can chop it. You just want to chop it real slow or real small and then simmer slowly like I am right now. Next you want to grab a lemon. In the video I had this is just lemon juice, but obviously this is better with a fresh squeezed lemon right on top. I just cut one in half, save the other half for later. So I'll do a few squirts of this. But fresh lemon is obviously better than the one I just used. Just making sure that doesn't burn on the bottom. And this thing is about done. I'm going to turn the heat off right now. And then I like to grab your fish. And we're going to smack it back in there. I'm not using my fingers because I don't want it to fall apart, because your fish will cool just sitting. So I want to put it back in, let it cook just for a little bit. It's not even cooking, it's just warming back up and soaking up that flavor. So we're gonna leave it in here for a little bit. You can grab a spoon also if you want and just throw a little bit on the top, let it sink in. Warm that top up. You can just flip it over too, but either or works. I'd even have this in here for a minute and it's about time to take out. So we're gonna grab our plate, grab something to grab the fish with. I like to use two different things because one, it's sometimes hard to flip when it's not fully cooked, and like some parts want to fall apart, some parts want to stay together. So I just use two. Here's the fish. You can put it on a nicer plate. I would, especially if you have people over. You just want it to look nice. I'll make sure this is in the frame. So here's the fish right here. You can scoop some and put a little bit more on if you want, but we basted it pretty well just in that pan. So pretty good. I like to add some mushrooms and rice pilaf to this if I was eating a whole meal. If you all want to know, just add some vegetables and some rice and it'll be great. So So make sure to like and subscribe for more. We're going to cook a lot more different types of food. I'm going to make some wild boar quesadillas probably this weekend. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe for more, and peace out.